the
Yeah,
problem with science in general is you guys are always looking for proof, and
can
most
I
of
ask
the
a
proof that
question?
yeah.
Was Adam born with or without a penis?
Uh, I mean, he reproduced, so I'm not sure.
Right, but was he created without one? Because originally only Adam was created, and then God gave him the animals. And it wasn't until God said that he wasn't able to find a mate among the animals that he made Eve. So between being created and between Eve being created, did he have a thing?
I'm not exactly sure. I would assume so, though.
So that means then that God did intend when he created Adam to use his thing, right?
I don't. I'm not necessarily sure because at that point he wasn't reproducing, so I don't. I'm not sure. He could have.
Right, but does God know the future?
Yeah, but he doesn't. That doesn't mean that if I know something, that doesn't mean that you made it happen.
No, no, I'm not asking about free will or if you think he's performing the act. I'm just saying, does God know the future?
Yeah.
Okay. So if God does know the future, then we would assume that he created Adam with a thing already, knowing that he's going to need it later.
No, I don't think so because you could say that about anything. I mean that I'm assuming
Okay.
that is the case, but I'm saying that
So
like
I want to make sure you're saying that the penis wasn't made intentionally, like the male and female reproduction happened by accident.
no, I'm saying yeah, I think it was. I'm just saying that the argument you're making is not very good, but yeah, I think that he was.
You actually don't know what my argument is yet. I'm just trying to track your position. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're saying that you don't know if God created Adam originally with a penis, and
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know, but I think it's a high probability that he did. Yeah.
it would, or else the narrative would probably say that when Adam was put to sleep, he didn't just take a rib out of his side; he also gave him a penis. So you would expect that to be
never
part of the
thought about it,
story.
but I just assumed that he was created with a penis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so God created Adam with a penis rather than giving him one later, most likely because
so.
he knew the future and he knew he would need it, right?
Sure.
Okay. Now, if we're assuming that God like creates things in it, he creates things that have a function because he knows he's going to need them in advance, right? Because he knows the future, okay? Then is it consistent that God would put a talking serpent in the garden that he knew was wily, he knew was a trickster, and he knew was going to trick Eve? Is that a logical thing to think that he would put that in the garden knowing what it would do?
Yeah, I think he knew what it was going to do. That doesn't mean again that he said it like forced it to happen.
But did God create the snake?
Yeah.
Did he have to create the snake?
I would say so. Yeah.
He had to? So he's not all powerful then.
If he created the perfect world, then that means that the perfect world was with Satan in it. So yes, I think that he had to create the snake.
Did he? But well, in your worldview, the Satan and the snake are the same thing, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I'm asking, why did he have to create the snake?
Because I believe that God created a perfect world, and the world He created is perfect, and thus the snake is perfect as well.
Okay, so he created the snake, but he didn't know the snake was going to be bad.
Okay, yes, it would be like me time traveling to the future and knowing the things that were going to happen, but I didn't cause those things to happen. I just knew that.
I'm not saying he caused anything to happen. I'm asking you, did he know the
Yes, he
snake
knew.
was going to be evil?
Yes, you knew. Yeah.
Okay, so he knew the snake was going to be evil from day one, didn't he? Because Jesus says that Satan was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. And then in 1 John, he says the same thing. He says that Satan has been lying from the very start. So God knew from day one that the snake was going to be evil, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he have to create the snake?
I think we just went over this.
We didn't. You almost went over it. Was he required to make the snake?
I mean, he's God, so he was required by himself to create the snake. Otherwise, he wouldn't have created the snake.
That doesn't answer the question. What was causing him to have to make the snake?
His own belief,
Belief in what?
Desires.
his own desires. Yeah.
So God desires.
Desires. There you go. We finally got there. So the evil we see in the world in your worldview, comes from God's desires, which is much less parsimonious with just living in a chaotic universe.
I don't think that's the case, but
So, what's more parsimonious, that we're living in a chaotic universe that is a product of chance, or that there's a God that created all this nonsense who intended for there to be chaos?
wasn't the devil originally good and he chose to
Nope.
rebel?
Nope. That's not in the book anywhere.
Are you sure?
I'm positive of it. Jesus himself in John said that Satan was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Is that John 6:44 or 8:44? Let me check. No,
Yeah,
it's
I think
8:44.
we all are. He would say that about anyone.
No, he wouldn't say it about anyone. He said it about Satan. That's who he said it
You don't
about.
think he would say that about anyone, that our hearts are prone to sin?
No,
Even
it says
even when we are in the
you
womb,
are
sin-
from your father the devil, and you chose to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in the truth because there's no truth in him. So he was a murderer from the beginning. He was never a good guy.
Isn't there a verse in the Bible that says that God develops a relationship with us while we're in the mother's womb?
No, there's a psalm that David writes where he says that you knew me before I was born.
Oh,
You
yeah,
knit
yeah.
me in my mother's womb. Before I was born, you already knew every day that was written for me, so on and so forth.
So wouldn't he already know whether or not Satan? Like that's why.
Yeah.
But he still gave.
You
but
nailed it. Yeah. So this is not hard. This is not hard. Okay. So if I create a robot, so I actually create robots for a living. I'm an electrical engineer, but I do automation. Okay. So if I create a robot and I give it AI technology, so it can do any decision that it wants, right? I gave it the ability to make its own decisions. If I create a robot and I put it in a house and I give it the ability to shoot flames out of its eyeballs, and I give it scissors for hands so it can go around cutting people if it wants to. And then every once in a while, it'll just have a mental lapse and hurt somebody. It's going to have a mental failure. Am I responsible for everybody in that house that gets hurt by my robot?
Yes, I think so.
Right, yeah, because I created the thing knowing it was going to do harm. I didn't have to create the thing. I could have not created it, so I'm responsible for the thing.
No,
So
I
God
think
created the
is
thing.
responsible. That's why he sent his son.
So God
There's
created the
responsibility.
thing. Wait, he didn't have to do any of that. He could have just not made the devil.
But isn't Jesus bearing our responsibility? So in a way,
Not for Satan. We're talking about Satan right now.
he's bearing the responsibility for all of mankind, including.
Talk about Satan, not mankind.
It's life. If somebody steals $100 from you, and then later on they give you back the $100 they stole, is that person guilty?
Yeah, I think so. But I think
There you go. God is still guilty. It doesn't matter
Okay.
that he sent himself to sacrifice himself to himself for what he did. Still guilty. Still morally responsible.
Yeah, bringing Jesus into this is going to make it worse. I know you want to bring Jesus into it because it makes it feel like it's going to be better, but I promise it's going to make it worse if you bring Jesus in.
Okay, but I know I've already went over, but here's my thing. I don't understand why people have an issue with me believing in a God, believing that there's something beyond myself. I think that the possibility of there being a God, I would have put in a percentage, even though there's not. I'd say that we know that Jesus walked the earth, so I say that the possibility of him claiming to be God, which many people would agree that he did claim to be God. I know that's a controversial thing, but I would say 5%. So if there's a 5% chance that Jesus claimed to be God, he walked the earth, and he rose again, I think that's good enough chance to believe in it. So I'm going to go ahead and believe in it. I don't know why that's an issue and why people have such a
But
big problem.
Muhammad walked the earth. Does that mean that he's a prophet?
And people can believe in him as well.
Right, but Muhammad walked the earth. Does that mean he was a prophet?
I don't think so. No.
We don't.
Okay,
We don't
so
care
just
if this
because someone
is-
existed.
Yeah, we don't care if this is what you believe in. We're just not buying it. You can sell Girl Scout cookies, but I ain't buying. I've seen the prices lately. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
a lie.
I love a
bought
good Thin
3
Mint.
boxes. But yeah, no, we don't have a problem with you doing believing this or whatever, so long as it doesn't violate anybody else's rights. Just like you don't have a problem with the Muslim believing it, just like Justin pointed out. But when you're trying to like you're trying to sell us that yours is better, and we vehemently disagree.
Yeah, I just think that you guys go about it with a critical eye, and I think if you didn't go about it
That's
with
how
such a
you
critical
should.
Okay, but
Yeah.
this is what I can say about evolution to begin with.
Go ahead.
There's this analogy in this emperor. He's just naked, and everyone's like
Yeah,
he's telling
emperor has no
everyone.
clothes. Yeah.
He's telling everyone.
Scientific the spirit of science is that it is done with the possibility of proving your own idea wrong. Religion has never ever attempted to do anything like this.
But I'm just saying, I can almost not guarantee you. If you guys did a deep study into simply
I have.
evolution and did it with a critical eye, a very
Eric has a degree.
Yeah, we do. This is done. This is
No.
how science is done.
But no, throughout
Eric
all
is
of
a science educator. He's got a bachelor's degree in science, don't you?
throughout all of education, you're presented with evolution as a fact, and you just accept the basic
You are
foundations of what
presented with
evolution is.
confirmed hypotheses and observations. The things that ended up being wrong have been discarded. When was the last time that Christianity said, hey, you know what? This particular doctrine of Christianity is false, and we ran a
I'll tell you
test,
one.
and this is now what we believe in. When has Christianity ever done that?
Fermentation over the earth. We don't think that that's true.
Have you met a flat earther?
Yeah. The Bible does say there's a firmament, by the way, which is a huge problem because there's no firmament.
And I've talked
And
to
I just answered this
non-flat
question.
earth Christians that think that there was a firmament, there just isn't anymore. So no, this
I
idea has
disproved your
not been
point.
abandoned.
Pero
Yes,
pero
it
so,
has.
you said to-
No, it
you said
has
to
not
study
been
evolution.
abandoned.
Do
Yeah,
you
it's
realize
like-
that some? Okay, I'm talking. Do you realize that some
Go ahead.
scientists say that some scientists literally do not believe in evolution? That doesn't mean that the whole argument's abandoned. Just because some people believe that there's a fermentation doesn't mean that the majority of people don't.
Firmament.
Like,
You mean
that's-
firmament?
Yeah, firmament.
Ferment.
Fermentation.
Got
Something
his
that
science
you.
hat on.
Ferment,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I love some good fermentation.